Washington fans, we got what we was looking for this week. We are on our way to the playoffs. A lot to talk about. A great game last night. Joining us today, Redskins / Commanders legend Joshua Morgan and Reedie Zee starts now. What's up, Z, man? How you feeling, brother? You're on mute.
My bad. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, bro. We got the dub. We are playoff bound. Man, it's nothing to really complain about. It's up for real. I mean, we got one more game to kind of decide if we're gonna be the 6th seed. I mean, it's just electric. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling. I'm just excited to be where we are, you know what I mean, from where we've been. So let's get right into it. And definitely want to welcome, like we said, Redskin, Washington legend, Mr. Joshua Morgan, former wide receiver of the team, DC native. You know what I mean? No introduction is needed. We appreciate you, bro. And, you know, shout out to you for coming on.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
No question. So lead it out. You know, last night I must have went to the bathroom or something. I missed when they honored you, you know, for the legend. But let's talk about how, you know, how that felt, you know, being home, being honored as one of our legends, and you know what I mean, the experience last night for you.
Man, it's always good being honored, man. You know, you never, you know, it was like the Legend of Service award I got for the team, and you know, it's just always good, you know, when people see what you're doing and, you know, support and respect what you're doing. Even though that's not why I do it, you know, I always do it because I was one of those kids that needed all the help in the world. I was one of those kids that used to be looking on TV like, man, I wish I could meet this dude. I wish I could meet that dude. And it never happened, man. You know, no disrespect to the organization, but they weren't coming to no DC public schools, man. Yeah. We ain't see them peoples. So, yeah, you know, fact. when I made it, I just always wanted to reach back. But it was basically the same award I got while I was playing, you know, for doing the most community service, for doing the most in the community on every team I was on, basically. You know, I guess it was just good. It was a full circle moment. You know, especially with the Walter Payton Man of the Year going on right now. And I received the award when I was with the team for the team. So to be able to do it, you know, being retired, 10 years now? Damn, almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. It's getting close to being retired a decade, man, and to still, you know, be active in the community and still receive that type of award for doing that type of work. And, you know, the city I grew up in, man, it's always a blessing, man.
Yeah, definitely. You know, shout out to you for that. And, you know, I mean, just to kind of give a little background on our end, you know, us two being DC IAA athletes, we played for Blue, but Josh, you know, he went to Eastern and he went to HD Woodson and they won a Turkey Bowl. But we, you know, I mean, guys like us, we followed your story, you know, coming through DCI AA. Y'all got that Turkey Bowl win. You know, you went on to JUCO, got the VTech, and became a man out there. You know what I mean? Did your thing and always just watch from afar how hard you work. You know, I mean, I can remember times where, you know, my brother played with you. So, you know, I kind of seeing how brother moved around coming home, and I'm looking like, you ain't coming home. You putting in that work. So that's one thing that we always kind of valued about you, and the narrative about you was that you was a hard-working person. Like, let's talk about some of those, you know, what you think attributed to such hard work. What was the grind?
Man, the grind, where did it come from? The grind was really, man, trying to get the fuck out of my situation, man.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? That was the grind, man. Just saying what I was waking up to, man. And man, trust me, man, before my parents got divorced, I seen them working hard. I respect their grind. But it was one of them situations where, man, they was busting their ass, working hard, tired as shit just to be broke. You know what I'm saying? And that shit ended up driving a sword between them, and they end up getting divorced, taking my brothers out Maryland, That's why my brothers ended up going to Douglas, and I stayed in the city with my father because we was with my grandmother at the time. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't even afford our own crib. But, man, just going through it, man, waking up and the lights ain't on, waking up and the hot water ain't on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes having to heat the house with the oven. You know, I mean, really just living that life and going through that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially back when we was in school, man, it was a blessing just to leave your house and make it back home, man. I mean, it still is, but DC ain't DC like it was. But man, just real, that was really the grind, man. Just going to school, man. You know, my first time at having cable was at VTech. My first time having my own room was at VTech. You know what I'm saying? My first time having my own shower was at VTech. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother had that big old porcelain tub, man, that you see in all the slave movies now, man. And we had to, you know, when the hot water went on, we had to boil the water on the stove and go carry it in the bucket up there and put it in the tub and, you know what I'm saying, get dressed and shit. So I would say the grind just came from them real humble ass beginners, man. Just, you know what I'm saying, with my grandmother making ramen noodles and cutting up the boiled eggs one day and then putting the shrimp in it another day. And then, man, that shit was a gourmet meal to me. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell me I wasn't eating shrimp lo mein. You know what I'm saying? Just shit like that in them beginners, man. Just busting my ass trying to get the fuck out of here and make my situation better, man. And at that time, I mean, y'all know we from the same area. We ain't hear about too many people getting no academic scholarships and all that, man. That was like unheard of back then, man. They wasn't pushing that. You know, it was all, man, you even going to play sports or, you know, you going to try. Which one you going to choose?
Correct.
You know, so hey, I just tried to use sports as my way out, man, and really, you know what I'm saying, make my situation better. That's really where the grind came from, man. Just because the situations was fucked up back then, man. I think minimum wage was like $8 an hour. Yeah. And I think you could only work a certain amount of hours. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, it was like, man, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna either quit sports to work this 4-hour minimum and get $8, and y'all know the math. Yeah. or I'm gonna take a chance and go get more and do more. So that was just always my mindset, man. It's like, man, shit, this all I got to lose, and why not take a chance for more? Why not risk it all and go get more? Why not? Because it can't get no worse than what I'm going through now. So, you know, that's really where it came from, man. And that's just that mindset, like, man, I don't know nobody around me, and maybe, you know, again, something else that wasn't spoken on when we was coming up was mental health. Wasn't nobody talking about it back then. So, you know, my friends probably wouldn't have spoke up if they was going through it, but I ain't know nobody else going through the shit I was going through at home.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew was coming to school talking about what happened on Martin and shit, coming to school fly. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. My only new shoes was wear Christmas and fucking in the beginning of the school year. That was all I got. But yeah, I just going through that, man. It just created a monster for real. Where it was like, man, why don't I deserve what everybody else got? Why don't I deserve to live good? Why don't I deserve a shower? Right. You know what I'm saying? Why don't?
Yeah, not for real.
And then it just became a why not mentality. Right. Like, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Right. Why would I come back home from VTech when I'm trying to get the fuck out of there? There ain't nothing home for me. I don't got no room to go back to for real. You know what I'm saying? When I graduated, when I left HD, I ain't had no home to go to for real. Go back and visit my grandmother, but that wasn't my house for real. Pops put me out once he found out that I was helping, you know, grandma pay the rent, pay the mortgage, and get groceries and all that. So it was just a lot going on there. Like I said, I ain't know how to tell nobody. A couple of my coaches knew, but you know, they kept it discreet because I guess because of the pride thing. And man, that shit just turned me into a monster, man. Because I was just like, man, I just created a hit list, and man, everybody that was in my way, I just started trying to kill.
Yeah.
Speaking of those humble beginnings, I remember you when you were playing basketball. Like, what moment was it when you realized coming from Easton that you wanted to, you know, pursue football totally? And what did it mean to your family for being able to, for it to come full circle, you go to Virginia Tech and then come back and to the city that you from and play for that team?
Man, honestly, man, and Easton, I love Easton, I love being there, but they put me out. I got put out of Easton. That's why I had to go to HD. And they wasn't, man, teachers there was just standing in the way, trying to make it harder than they should have, man. And that's why I love some of the teachers we got these days, man. They really believe in your dreams and they support you and they giving positive affirmations, man. When I was telling people what I wanted to do, man, I was like, man, I want to be one of the first ones in the NBA and NFL. They was like, man, nah, you should think more tangible, man. And then I had one of my coaches up Easton. I told him my dreams, and he was like, man, you sure you're going to be alive? You sure you're going to be alive by graduation and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? So, that just goes to show the dynamic of how people view me back then and what I was really going through versus now. But, man, definitely to make it and get down V-Tech, it was a blessing, man, because, man, a lot of people ain't know where I was at because, like Z said, I was at Fort Union, and I kind of was the only one that ain't nobody know what he was doing yet because Roland and all them was already on campus. Everybody was already on campus. I was down Fort Union. People thought I was locked up or something because I just disappeared and fell off the scene for a minute. But I went down there and killed, man. I went down there. Got Plexico Burr's record, almost broke Vinny Testaverde record. Eddie George went to Fort Union too. I almost got him in yardage, and I was only there for 3 months. So to go down there, you take somebody from going through what I was going through, and then put me in a structured situation like a military school, like Fort Union Military School. Man, that was all I needed was that structure, and man, I know where my next meal coming from every day. I know I got a shower to go to. I know I got a bed to sleep in. I'm good. That's all I needed. So, that led me to V-Tech, man, because when I came out of HD, I had offers in basketball and football, but, man, it was like D2 offers in basketball. Most of my D1 offers was in football, so that's what led me to the decision to play football because they was just like, man, well, if most of your D1 offers in football, then why not? That must be what everybody see you at. That's your future. So, I was just like, man, let's do it then. Honestly, the reason I chose V-Tech was crazy too, because I was like, man, if, Roller was down there, a lot of people I knew was already down there. I was like, man, I know I'm
Theo, and rest in peace, Theo.
Yeah, rest in peace, Theo, man. Damn, rest in peace, Theo. But I was just like, man, I know I'm gonna play wherever I go, man. And I was just all them colleges back then was like, man, the education part. Well, I was like, man, if they down there and they all right, I know I'm smarter than all them, so I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna go to V-Tech. But to come back home, man, it was crazy, man. I had a lot of full circle moments during that time, man. My first game at V-Tech as a true freshman, we played USC at FedEx Field in front of 90,000. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Bush got our ass, but yeah, man, it was moments like that. So to come back home and really put on a show and really be able to do it for the city, man, especially, when I left the 49ers to come here, my grandmother was dying at the time. The doctor said she only had a couple of years left. So that's why I really left the 49ers, man, because I loved it out there, but I left because my grandmother was dying. Coach Harbaugh at the time was a coach. He told me, man, he was like, man, if I had the opportunity to play for the home team, I would, man, especially if your grandmother not going to be here too much longer. You know what I'm saying? So he set up my whole contract, had it set up for me to come back to the 49ers after I left here and everything, man. But him and the GM, Trent Baalke, ended up getting into it out San Fran, and they ended up letting them go. He ended up back in Michigan by the time my contract was up. So that's how I ended up with the Bears. But, man, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy time, man. Just, seeing people like y'all in the stands, seeing everybody I grew up with, played football with, and, really be putting on, them shoulder pads and putting that Redskin helmet on, man. It was a blessing, man. It meant everything to me, man.
Yeah, no question. And that definitely, I mean, just sitting and listening to how you saying, I'm just thinking about how I was playing out. That's definitely, touching. I didn't know that, your grandmother was, going through what she was going through at the time. And that was one of the sole reasons of coming. I do remember Shanahan, being the coach at the time. And I remember him really liking you. And I remember reading something about your contract, if contract was fully guaranteed or something like that. And I'm like, damn, that's vicious. Like, bro, like that's dope. Like, not so many people was getting that back then. So just, everything like kind of following and going into it, just looking at it, I'm like, man, it's a dope experience. And like, at the time, with you being on the team, I remember like after the games coming to the parking lot, it just kind of gave me that other experience of kind of seeing the players up close and stuff like that. It was just a dope experience. So definitely shout out to you for always showing love. And just kind of, even at the time, you may not even realize what a simple like, yeah, come on over here, bro. Or, if you out, yeah, come, I'm at this table, bro. Something like that just really goes far, and it's really appreciative because one, you didn't have to do it, and two, it's just you never know what it's doing for somebody else, and just putting in that environment, observing. Exactly. And I just always admired that. Just solid dude, and just it was about your work. No question. I just always was like, man, bro, about his work, and it was just dope to see. No question, and definitely, with the community thing as well. I guess you kind of like touched on it. But like, talk about some of the community work that you're doing now with the team and with, your own foundation or, what you got going on yourself.
Man, honestly and truly, I try to do any and everything that got something to do with the youth. Because like I said, I was one of them kids that needed the help. I was one of them kids that ain't know how to reach out, ain't know how to ask for it. Like, what I'm saying? I was one of them kids like, man, only way you going to get what you need is to jump off the porch and do what you got to do. And that's what I end up doing. So I always try to look for those kids that's in them type of situations where, they might not have groceries at home. So, man, if you need groceries, man, I'm going to do what I got to do to get you groceries. They might not be eating every day, man. If you need food, man, just hit me. I got you, man. I'm going to send you money, you know what I'm saying? I was volunteering coaching that curl the last couple of years, man. And I love it, but hate it, man. But most of them kids, every time they hit my phone, it was Coach Josh. Can I get a cash app? Can I get a cash app? You know what I'm saying? My cash app going to them, man. So, when you volunteer to do that high school youth sports, man, it really like you got 60 more kids, man. Yeah. And just stuff like that, man. Just showing up, man. Like you said, sometimes you just gotta show up, pull up, let them know you there, let them know, you know what I'm saying, you gonna be there, you gonna keep your word. And that's what I really try to do, man, because we do a lot of big events with the Commanders, and their community, relations team is amazing, man. And they honestly reached out to me the last couple of years and was, just asking for different ideas. And I was like, man, if y'all really want to get the city back, man, we gotta start showing up in the city. Because we was doing a lot of events out Loudoun County. And I was like, man, they don't need that, man. That's the fifth richest county in America, man. Like, they already privileged, man. We got to go tap into these inner city kids and tap into these areas that really need it. Like, that really ain't never seen nothing, don't got nothing to look forward to, and just need some sense of hope. Just need to know somebody care about them. And that's what they've been doing the last couple of years, man. It's been amazing to see. But man, any and everything with the youth, man, from reading to shoe drives to coat drives to, just showing up, helping them with college, and man, any and everything you could think of, man. Thanksgiving giveaways, Christmas giveaways, toy drives, all types of things, man. I partner with a lot of other organizations that do, youth-based or, youth-focused events too, man. Just Christmas Eve, we was at Children's Hospital with the PICU unit, with the Malik Crosby Foundation, the MAC Foundation. And I've been doing that since I got here in 2012 with them, man, and just passing out toys to all them kids in the PICU unit. Some of them been there for months. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? Some of them might not leave there, but just to go around and, put smiles on the family's faces. Man, it was so touching this year, man. One dude, man, his son was in his sleep. I guess he was sedated. And we went in there, man. He broke down crying in my arms and everything, man. And, just to see that impact, man, and that reaction, and just for him to know that somebody cared and thinking about them, man. And, I said a quick prayer with him and everything, man, and just let him know his son gonna be all right, man, because they in some tough situations in that PICU unit, man. And, the doctors doing what they can, man, but I'm a believer, man, so I know God's still on the throne, man, and them kids gonna be all right. I hope they all go home.
No
Yeah,
question.
man. And from one Washingtonian to another, man, I just want to thank you, for your support to the community, because it's big when people, of your stature who got out come back, and these kids these days, or even when we were growing up, can see, like you mentioned before, there wasn't too many people coming to the city doing those things, and you just giving back so they can see that there's other things that they can do besides go to the streets. You know what I'm saying? They can go to school and get good grades. They can, do all of those things. So from me to you, man, I appreciate you, man, and keep doing what you're doing in the community as well.
Man, appreciate you, man. I'm glad you said that too, man. I be trying to tell these kids, man, you gotta get them grades, man. It ain't cool to be stupid out here, man. For real. I made honor
Mm-hmm.
roll every year I was in school, man. But you know what I'm saying? They this generation, man, and I learned it coaching, man. They rather a lot of them would rather be a cool loser than a weird winner.
Yeah.
You know, man, be that weird winner all day, every day, man. Make on the road, do what you gotta do. Make your situation better, man. Get your family right, man, for real.
Nah, for real,
I'm
definitely.
glad you said that, man. Them grades, man. People be ignoring that, man, because it don't look as cool as everything else. Everybody else making it look.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's facts. That's facts. And before we jump into the kind of the playoff questions and stuff, I did want to confirm this. So throughout high school, we always heard that they came in for a workout for you, and you was doing a workout, and you took a leap, and you touched the rim with both your elbows.
Oh yeah.
Can you confirm that today?
Yeah. I used to fly a little bit, man. But yeah, they did a couple workouts, man. And man, I did the Vince Carter where I put my arm in the rim. I touched the top of the backboard of HD a couple of times. I used to fly, man. That's before people start hating and undercut you. Then you stop trying to
Yeah.
jump inside. But yeah, I definitely that's a fact though, man.
That
When I
was
was at
dope.
Fort Union, my whole workout, I did the combine for the schools, man. And like I said, when I left HD, I had offers, but I wasn't jumping off the page with it. It wasn't like 40 offers or nothing like that, man. But after my season at Fort Union, I went down there late because I didn't know I had to go. I was still trying to decide. I went down there late, so I went down there like the first week of September. It played September, October, November, and by Christmas break, I was about to enroll in VTech. But by Christmas break, I also went from like maybe 20 offers to like over 100 because Fort Union, Coach Schumann, he had this little combine. I ran a 40 down there. I ran a 4.38, I think. Yeah, I ran a 4.38. I ran my 4.38. He just rolled the basketball out. He was like, man, go have some fun. And I felt bad because once I started, doing my little dunk contest, all the colleges stopped looking at everybody else that was in the combine. They just was on the court looking at me. Man, that joint jumped, man. But yeah, I used to fly, man. I never thought that basketball was going to help, but it ended up being a gift for me. And
Yeah.
definitely being a
No
gift for me.
question. No question. It's dope to hear. So just to kind of spin into it, we have gotten into a playoff berth. The first one since 2020, but prior to that, which we, from my era, our age, we kind of consider our glory days was, back when you was with the team, 2015, when we had RG3 electric, electric. Last night, Jayden broke RG3 rushing record. Has 864 yards. But, being a part of that atmosphere and being a part of that team, like what's some of the similarities you may see between the team then and the team now that may stand out to you?
I mean, other than the obvious with having a rookie quarterback leading you and, doing what Jayden's doing out there, I think the one similarity is that year, definitely the 2012 year, we started off struggling. We was 3-6. You know what I'm saying? Then something flipped where we just figured it out, man. We was, facing a lot of injuries. I was injured. I still had a screw in my foot because from when I broke my leg the year before in San Fran, Pierre wasn't healthy. Trent was struggling with injuries. We had a lot of injuries, man. And I mean, y'all all know, man, because we had an amazing coaching staff because all our coaches, head coaches.
Yeah.
All of them head coaches very successful now. Raheem was one of them last night with the Falcons. You know, Raheem was one of them last night, and my receiver coach was over there with him now too. Ike Elliott, he over there with the Falcons too, man. But we just had great coaching staffs, man, that just kept us encouraged, man, and kept us fighting, and just we started playing with resiliency after that. And that's what that's the one similarity I see with this team right here. You know, because we probably had way more talent back then. But man, they just don't give up. They stay together. You don't see them arguing on the field. You don't see nobody calling each other out. You don't see nobody being negative in the media. Like the coaching staff doing a great job just keeping them together, keeping them positive, and keeping them focused on what the goal is, man. You know, the goal for us back then, man, we was happy because when we went to the playoffs, that was the first time they went in over a decade. You know, that was the first time they went since Clint Porterson was on the team. You know, over a decade before that, man. So we was like, man, yeah, we made it to the playoffs, and then we got to Seattle, and you know, ain't played the best game. You know, so you know they just preaching with the goal, and the goal just not to get to the playoffs this year, man. It's to try to win the Super Bowl.
No question.
You know, and when you focus on winning the Super Bowl, you expect to go to the playoffs. You know, and I think that's the difference with the mindset, man. But man, this team, man, they fight, they make big plays, and Jayden take care of the ball, man. He do what he gotta do to take care of that ball, and don't do nothing unnecessary. Keep positive yards, stay ahead of his sticks. You don't never see him get down when he throw a pick. He come right back, assess, stay focused. He never get too high, never get too low. Just stay even keel when, man, keep working, man. I love the kid. I love to see it.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, Jayden is definitely special. And definitely, you know what I mean, just even kill. He got that dog in him, but you like you said, his emotions don't get too high, don't get too low. He's just always locked in. And I mean, and this year I think they said it's been like 5 or 6 like game winning moments that he's been able to been successful on. And it's just like, wow, all this as a rookie. You know what I mean? Some of the things that RG3 did for this franchise, like, you know what I mean, we never thought that could be topped. And, you know, Jayden coming in and just, you know what I mean, overcoming them and adding some more with a little bit more swag to it. It's just dope to see. It's dope to see. And, you know what I mean, especially for guys like me and Reedie who've been down since forever. It's just, you know what I mean, to kind of see what's this season has been truly special. Just on all cylinders. And it's just like, man, I just really been kind of holding on to it. He be like, man, I don't know, man. Don't put us out. Like you said, the mentality should be the Super Bowl. And a lot of us kind of, you know, myself included, I try not to set no expectations or get too far ahead. But, you know what I mean, we've already surpassed what my thought process or how many games I thought we would win this year. So, you know what I mean, looking forward to, like, you know what I mean, the Super Bowl, it just seems kind of, you know, in my head, I'd be like, I don't want to go that far. I just want to, all right, I want to be Dallas this week. All right, we in the playoffs. I want to win a one playoff game and just go week to week. But, you know what I mean, definitely, like you said, if the mentality ain't winning the Super Bowl, then I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So
no, definitely. You definitely want to focus on it on a week-to-week basis, man. But you expect to win those games. That's all I'm saying. You expect to win those games because you expect and you play to play in the championship. You play to play in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I still got that itch because I ain't get to play in the Super Bowl. So I'm trying to go back as a coach and win one.
Nah, for real.
Still for real, man. I just got to do it, man. You know, it ain't nothing like it, man. It's the hardest thing to do in team sports, man. And see these people keep winning like they winning and staying together. Man, not only staying together, my man proposed after the win last night. So, man, they staying together, man. They making families and everything, man. I love it.
Facts. The two kickers had a baby on the same day. It's crazy.
You can't make this shit up, man.
It's just like, wow.
Crazy, man. 30-30 gonna kill this season.
Nah, for sure. So what would you say? You know, looking back at your career, it could be when you was here, San Fran, Bears, and you had a stint with the Saints. Just what was some of the, like, one of your most proud moments, or, you know, proud fun, just one of your most memorable moments when you was in the league?
Man, I had a lot of them, man. I want to say my first one would have to be that first game, man. Man, I'm gonna even take it there, man, because it started out, you know, tough. Because my first day of training camp, My first day of training camp, my rookie year with San Fran, was the same day. I'm on the training table getting taped, and everybody blowing up my phone telling me Theo just died. I'm on the training table, so I don't know what to do. I'm like, man, I want to go home. But everybody, you know what I'm saying? My family, like, nah, you can't. We'll take care of it here. You know, we'll do what we got to do. We'll show you represent here, but you can't leave. Like, this your first day of training camp. So that was tough.
That's tough.
But, you know, and then, man, I think my first preseason game, man, Charles Woodson over there with the Packers. And he was one of the reasons, him and Dion, two of the reasons I wore number 2. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him like, oh, man, this Charles Woodson right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I'm really, you know, going against one of, you know, my idols at the time. You know, so that was a proud moment for me to see that I got to a point where, you know, I started wearing number 2 because of what him and Dion did in college, man. And, you know, now I'm about to go against you in this one-on-one right now. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to have that moment and, man, get some catches versus him was good, man. Even though that was towards the end of his career, man, Charles Woodson still Charles Woodson.
Nah, facts.
But that was one of them, man. And Jim, you know, most 6th-round picks, man, I ended up going 6th round because I got in a little bit of trouble down. I didn't get no trouble down VTech, man. I got racially profiled by the police officers down there. And at that time, that was during the time that Mike got in trouble with the dogs. So Marcus was getting in trouble.
Marcus
you know
was
what I'm
wild,
saying?
yeah.
So VTech had a bad name on him back then. You know what I'm saying? So during that time, just because I had that situation, you know, I dropped a couple of rounds. But most 6th-round picks don't make the team. So for me to not only make the team but be a starter, that was another proud moment for me, man. Go out there, be a starter, man, and just looking around. Mike Moss was my offensive coordinator. Isaac Bruce was on the team with me. You know what I'm saying? So just be beside Isaac Bruce and be starting, man. It was a blessing, man. To really have that type of, you know, had that type of guy in your locker room, man. That's a Hall of Fame guy, all around good guy. He never got no trouble, man. And, you know, he's right next to me, man. And I'm playing with Isaac Bruce now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Around the way, man. About to play, you know what I'm saying, whoever, you know, on his DCIAA schedule. And now I'm right here beside Isaac Bruce every day, and we working together. He coaching me, man. Jerry Rice at practice coaching me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing T.O. come back, you know, around the building. You know, even though he's still playing in the offseason, he found a way up there when they wasn't doing nothing, man. J.J. Stokes, John Taylor, all those 49er greats, man, just to be in that atmosphere. And they always came back as alumni, man. Joe Montana, Steve Young, man, Roger Craig, all of them. At practice, you know, really coaching us. So all those was just proud moments for me, man. One rookie of the year out there with the 49ers. That was another proud moment. We had a game win out there versus the Rams. Had a game winning bomb. That was another proud moment. It was almost like a Hail Mary, but time ain't run out. But, man, it was a lot of proud moments, man. And just fighting through the injuries, man, and remaining, you know what I'm saying, remaining a starter, not losing my starting job. All of those was proud moments, man. All of them, man. But, you know what I'm saying, like I said, it was tough my rookie year because I was just thinking about the Theo situation, like, man, he should have been here with me. You know what I'm saying? Theo was a crazy athlete, man. 6'3", 215, jumping crazy, man, at corner. But, man, I had a lot of proud moments, man. It was definitely proud, you know, winning the, you know, NFC West, you know, won the division title out there. Man, we was a game away from the Super Bowl. It was a lot of proud moments. Yeah, it was a lot of proud moments out there, man. When I came home, it was definitely a proud moment. Winning the starting job here after coming off a broken leg in San Fran and not doing no rehab out there, because in the middle of me breaking my leg, that's when I signed here free agent, man. They signed me and Pierre Garçon within like the first 30 seconds of free agency that year. So I ain't really had no time to rehab or nothing, man. I still had a screw in my foot, so I couldn't even flex my foot or nothing. I was running flat-footed on one foot and still end up being the leading receiver out here.
Yeah, leading receiver.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of proud moments, man. It was just proud just to be there anyway, man. But to definitely be there and make an impact, be an impact type of guy, man. Even though I had a lot of injuries that slowed me down, man, but I wasn't traded for the world, man. I know if I would have stayed healthy, I probably still playing or probably would have ended up having a Hall of Fame type of career. But like I said, God don't make no mistakes, man. I went through those injuries because he wanted me to see some people and learn some.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely. You definitely, the impact you made on the field, but also like the biggest thing is the community and to the people that you touch. And I've thanked you before. Like I even remember, you connected with my aunt and getting my brother come out to meet you. I think he might have came out to your house or something like that. Like that right there almost brought me to tears. You know what I mean? It was just like, man, that's just dope, man. Just like I said, that's something that Eric gonna remember for life. And you know what I mean? And even now, if you look at it, Eric is 20 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Try
like
not to
time
think
flying.
about that means we getting older.
Facts. He and he even today he trying to pass his own law, Eric ID law. So, he doing big things, but it's definitely the people like you along the way that kept him encouraged. And just salute to you, man, for real. Just a real spill.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
And finally, before we let you go, I just want to ask you this. So, we're coming into this game against the hated Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Just speak on, your memories of playing in Dallas. And, right now, this is, for us to go 12-5 on the season, going into the playoffs. We already clinched last night, like we said before. But how do you feel this atmosphere is going to be for these players coming into this game Sunday?
I mean, I probably done cussed a couple of times on this show. I don't know if it's PG-13 or not, but it's always fuck the Cowboys, man. Always. So I think that's how they going. That's how they going down there, man. They going down there like, man, we let y'all get one. You know what I'm saying? On our home field. Now we about to come down there and embarrass y'all, man, and show y'all it's really levels to this, man. And I think that's the mentality they going down there with. They going down there to put up numbers and really, show them people they not on their level at all. I'm showing what's going to come to them for years to come, man. Because man, I despise the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
If this ever get out as a coach, if the Cowboys was my only opportunity, I don't know if I could do it, man. I don't think I could do it, man. I hate the Cowboys, man. But man, that atmosphere down there, Jerry's World is crazy, man. It's a beautiful venue, man. But it's gonna look good with us in that end zone a lot.
Yeah, facts. Last time we went to Dallas, me and Reedie went together. That's when you were still on the team.
Yeah, I think that was 2012.
Yeah, something like that.
So put on the show down there.
Yeah,
man. It's gonna be good, man. They should go down there and beat the shit out of them people, man. They deserve it. The Cowboys deserve it, man. They definitely deserve it, man. You seen what the Eagles just did to them. Yeah, man. I think they going out there, man. Like I said, the whole team kind of stay even kill, man. But man, the first time team that got to 11 wins since '91, since Mark Ripken and them. Man, I think they going out there with a chip on their shoulder because they know they shouldn't have lost that game.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining our show, bro. It was definitely a dope experience, and I'm sure anybody watching this, any youth, anybody out there, one, can learn your story, but two, be encouraged. About who you are, why you are the way you are, and just continue to exemplify what you're doing for the community and this fan base as a whole. So again, bro, salute you, appreciate you for joining us, and always love, and you welcome back any day.
Appreciate it, man. Salute y'all, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing too, man.
Appreciate it,
man. I want to see this continue to grow, continue to on different platforms, man. I want to see y'all around the facility doing this. However y'all need it, for real, man. I'm all about growth, man. And I always try to tell people, if you ain't constantly growing, then you dying slow.
Absolutely.
You ain't learning. Yeah, man. So, man, I pray y'all continue to grow, man. I pray everybody family healthy. Man,
Thanks, man.
much success, man. More life, much success, and many more wins to come, man.
No
Every day
question.
above water, man. It's a win, man. So, man, celebrate, man. Keep living.
No question. Appreciate it, bro. That's
Appreciate
love.
y'all, man.
All
Appreciate
right.
All right. Josh Norman, legend.
Morgan.
Morgan. What am I talking about? I must
Go
be
ahead.
smart.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, Z, man. Let's get right into it, man. You know,
Jayden Daniels.
it
Jayden
wasn't the
Daniels.
best. It wasn't the best in the beginning, but it got there.
Yeah.
It got there.
Yeah, we got there. You know what I mean? Starting out, defense struggled. Struggled against Bijan Robinson, something that we talked about as a key. We knew that we would need to contain him in the air and out of the backfield. We talked specifically about him. He do a lot of runs to the outside, and we saw that a lot last night. He started out first half with like 89 yards. You know what I mean? So he was pretty electric. He had 2 touchdowns in the first half too. So you know what I mean, he came out and was doing his thing, but the defense kind of regrouped. Another slow start for the offense a little bit. But overall, as a team, we made the adjustments. I think at halftime we was down 17-7, so down 10 points at the half. But the moment we came out of the second half, that first drive was literally 13, 14 minutes. We took up all the clock, and we came out and scored. I think the second half, they talked about for the first 32 minutes. It was 32 snaps of the first 32 snaps of the second half. Atlanta only had like 4 of them on offense. Everything else was us. So we possessed the ball, we moved the ball, we was able to get down there and score. And we bounced back with another touchdown. And so we had 14 unanswered. And we did our thing. Jayden Daniels had a record-breaking performance, 24-36 for 227, 3 tutties, 1 interception. The interception was on that slant. That drive, for some reason, we was just slanting the hell out of their defense, and they ended up jumping one. So when that happened, I pretty much was, looking at that situation like, well, I mean, you can't run the same damn play all the way down the field without expecting something to happen. But like always, Jayden Daniels did not fret. He was able to rush for 127 yards on the 16 carries. And like we said, he surpassed RG3 rushing record. So he has the most rushing records from a rookie quarterback in the season thus far, with 1 game left to add to that record. So what did you think about Jayden? And, talk a little bit about, like we said, the first half struggles and the second half adjustments.
6 penalties in the first half is absolutely abysmal, keeping us in second and long, third and long situations. You just can't overcome that. That's not what's going to get us to success. That's not the remedy to success for us. We have to stay ahead of the sticks, and we have to have manageable down and distances to create those opportunities that we need down the field. I thought that Atlanta did a good job of taking Terry McLaurin out of this game. He had several opportunities. I mean, he had 1 target in the first half for 5 yards, one reception. We came out in that first drive of the second half trying to get Terry the ball, but there was a few passes that drops on Terry's behalf that I thought that he could have made the catch. I mean, the second one was kind of like a post route coming across the middle. He reached out for it. Could have been a better ball on Jayden's part, but I felt like Terry kind of slowed up a little bit, reaching out to catch that. He could have been a little bit better, but hats off to them. Like they say all the time, these are NFL players. They watch film. They watch film too. And going back to the interception on Jayden Daniels, it was basically their number 1 pass rush threat just dropped out in the coverage and jumped underneath, kind of similar to what Frankie Louvu did last week against the Eagles. And he came away with the interception. But on my rewatch, I like Jayden Daniels. He owned up to it and he took responsibility right away. He said, "My bad, that's on me." Definitely trying to go to Jamison Crowder in that part of the field in the red zone. But he took onus for that and moved on. penalties. That's basically just killed us in the first half. And then we're keeping drives alive with the offsides by Mikey Cyrus still on the field goal, kept that drive alive, and then also in the end zone, Mike Davis with that pass interference on Drake London. Kind of was the story of the game. Even coming out into the second half, we kind of struggled a little bit, but that penalty on their linebacker for Atlanta kind of kept that drive alive, and then Ertz was able to make that catch for the big gain going down the field, which culminated in the touchdown to Zach Ertz. But penalties, man, we cannot put our foot in our own mouth on penalties, man. We had to play a little bit cleaner down. So it's a lot of stuff that they need to clean up moving down the stretch. But I thought I seen a lot of fight as usual in this team, not giving up. And that drive in overtime, Jayden Daniels just basically took over, and he wasn't going to be denied getting into that end zone. He took a couple shots on that drive as well, but he was not going to be denied. So shouts out to the Commanders, man, and welcome to the Alls, man. We are here 11-5. And if you didn't know, Reedie said it a few weeks ago when people was not trying to say, oh, we could do this, we could do that. And I said, we're going to go 12-5. And we're going to go 12-5 because we're going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. And I'm stamping that right now. That's my prediction for next week. We will beat them and be 12-5, like I said, weeks past.
Respect. Man, so question. Mike Davis. Last night, we're getting a lot of people asking questions, even after the game, kind of overheard some things. Who's worse, Benjamin St-Juste or Mike Davis?
In my opinion, I thought Mike Davis did fine. I mean, a penalty, but I'll take that than give up a touchdown. I told you live, they don't trust St-Juste. They do not trust St-Juste. He came in there for his 1 or 2 plays, and he was out of there quick.
He got more than 2 plays.
But I'm just saying he got his ass out of there quick.
It definitely is a wondering topic, especially from my end. It's like, damn, they really think Mike Davis is better than St-Juste?
Clearly.
Mike Davis is slow.
Clearly.
He's very handsy. He get penalties.
Not as handsy as your man.
I mean, they both handsy, but it's been this year. He has been called on a few penalties. But it's just like, I don't know. I mean, but Mike Davis is also older. So it's kind of like, I personally think St-Juste is the better cornerback, but it just really makes you think this staff really don't bang with him. And I think that if we really would have the option to get somebody else, they probably would have cut him just like they did Forbes. How you feel about that?
It's a reason why they kept him on the roster. Clearly, he was better than Forbes. If they cut Forbes, he was a first round pick. I mean, you can't cut everybody. I mean, but I'm expecting wholesale changes in the offseason, but this is what we got. We got right now. Like, until Marshall Lattimore could get back in there and stay healthy, that's what we have. I would think that St-Juste would be your third, but clearly they don't think that. And the writing was on the wall. I think it was last week or the week before last that Joe Witt said it in his press conference, or either Dan Quinn, he alluded to it that Mike Davis, kind of was, without saying it, he was the next one in. I can't remember who said it, but it was one of them.
It was Dan Quinn. I believe it was Dan Quinn last week, or maybe earlier this week in one of the press conferences. They was asking, who would be that go-to corner to fill in for Marshawn, and everybody, the reporters was like, so, do you expect it to be St-Juste to get the reps? And he kind of was like, Mike Davis will definitely get, be in the mix as well, something like that. So, man, they do not believe in Benjamin. That's just something that I just keep thinking about. Like, damn, he must really be shitty in their eyes to be behind Mike Davis.
Yeah.
But last night we were able to see John Allen return, get some reps. Did you see him make any key plays, or did he stand out on the stat sheet? In your rewatch, what did you see from John Allen?
I saw John Allen a couple of plays. He kind of was taking on some double teams. And in a couple of plays, he was kind of like just in the mix, but he didn't affect anything. I just felt like he kind of was a body in a sense. But a person that did flash me coming down the line was Payne. Chasing stuff down to the sideline. He didn't make the tackle, but diving out of bounds, like wow, like. And I've been critical of Payne, but Payne flashed to me last night. I still believe it's a little early. I think John Allen needs to get his feet wet, kind of get back in there. I don't think they forced anything to him, but I did see him in there down the stretch. But live, I really didn't notice him. But on the rewatch, I definitely seen him come across the screen. But what did you think of KJ Osborne in the offense? He had the penalty. What did you think of him? And it's his time that was out. He was out there.
I didn't see much from KJ. Like you said, he did get that penalty. What was holding? No, he wasn't the one that got the penalty on Zaccheaus' touchdown, but it was a big play. That Zaccheaus, KJ got a penalty on, and I didn't see. I don't even recall him having like any targets, really, any catches. He was pretty much, I guess, Jahan in Philadelphia. If you had to offer a comparison, non-existent, a body for real. Jamison Crowder, he had a few catches. There was one across the middle I felt like he dropped. That I would like to see, Jamison sure up on that, but that's not something that I'm, too worried about on his end. But I also think that the player outside of Jayden Daniels, the offensive player of the game was Mr. Zaccheaus Ertz. Clutch contribution. He had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it was 6 receptions, 72 yards. He had that game winner. He had a long reception of 39 yards, and he was showing that he's still reliable. He's still he's still a sure target. Even all these years later, Zach Ertz being one of the best tight ends to play the game. He ended up getting hurt when he around the time that he left the Eagles and he was in Arizona. He kind of, started getting hurt there. And then he was out of football for a little bit, or at least trying to figure it out. And then, to kind of come here and have the year he's having. Like I even started out the year saying Zach Ertz was our very first signing of this new regime. And I remember saying, like, this dude is better than Logan Thomas. So I can't even be mad, even with the age. He's been a solid for us this year. And last night just showed that. And last night also was a $750,000 night for Mr. Zach Ertz. He received that in incentives based on his performance. So basically he had $250K for the game-winning touchdown catch that he got. Another $250K for getting over 600 yards this season. And he got another $250K for catching 60 passes this season. So it accumulated for him getting $750K just in incentives just off last night for reaching the milestones. So shout out to Zach. He had he pretty much pushed through this year. And, he's showing that he still got some football left in him. Yeah. How did you feel about Zach's performance?
I thought Zach's performance was clutch. I believe also he's slow as pond water, but he came through in the clutch, and he even a game-winning touchdown sitting there live. I was questioning, did he catch it or not? I kind of thought it was a drop, but on the replay, man, it was just a tremendous catch on his part. And we've kind of been saying like Zach Ertz has kind of been like missing in action going in the previous weeks, but when you need it, big time players make big time plays in big time moments. And Dan Quinn talks about these game time winning moments. And Zach Ertz definitely showed up when it was a game that we really couldn't get Terry McLaurin in the mix. Other players showed up and balled out.
Yeah, definitely. And just chiming in, looking at the comments over here on IG. Someone said, Kate said that I think they were guarding Terry so well. They just knew that they had to cover him. So yeah, that game plan, they pretty much game plan to eliminate Terry, which they was pretty successful with. But guys like Zaccheaus, guys like Zaccheaus, we talked about, who's that number 2, and Zaccheaus is making a late season run to be that guy. Last week having 2 touchdowns, this week leading the team in receptions with 8 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. Definitely, proving that he can be a consistent target moving forward. And, he's showing up. He's playing hard. So definitely excited to see him step up. That's a guy that I've been pretty hard on this year. So I can admit that Zaccheaus has definitely been surprising me these last couple of weeks, and I got to back off him a little bit and let him do him because he's been cooking.
Yeah, I think coming down the stretch, it's a two-way race for who's that number 2 receiver going to be. It's either going to be Olamide Zaccheaus or Jamison Crowder. Jamison also showed up in the stat sheet last night as well. Made a few plays, and I think a couple were negated by penalties. But I think those 2 are going to help us down the stretch. But the elephant that's in the room is this running game. Like, yeah, we're getting runs from Jayden Daniels, but our running backs need to step up and do a little bit more. I thought live that B-Rob didn't really do much, but on the rewatch, he kind of was getting a couple little gains or whatever. It wasn't what we want to see out of B-Rob, as well. But I just need more from those running back group in a whole. We might get Austin Eckler back this week because this is coming up on his final week in the for IR.
The 4 week IR.
He's eligible to return this week. So I'm looking forward to see if we can get him back, and I think that'll help us in the pass game as well, as far as out of the backfield and things of that nature. But going into the playoffs where the field's going to get a little bit more tighter and teams are going to come up, I don't want to see Jayden really running around. I just want to see him back there dissecting and making plays down the field. But if he has to run, then run.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can get this run game going, next week going into the playoffs, because everybody knows in the playoffs, if you can't run the football, you won't win. You have to be able to run the football in the playoffs.
Yeah. And also when we talk about that running back room, a guy that we tend not to speak on, that he's been showing up ever since he changed his jersey number to 36, Mr. C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez Jr. He's definitely been hooping. Last week or the week before, he got in the end zone. But this week he got in the end zone again. On that drive that he scored, they gave him 4 straight runs. Ran hard, breaking tackles, hitting the hole, and he's just been a different piece outside of B-Rob. B-Rob has kind of yesterday, second half, he was able to get some chunk runs and he finished with 60 yards. But, in the beginning of the game, just like we've been saying, it's like he's running into the back of guys or he's getting 1-2 yards a pop and not being productive. So, B-Rob maybe, got something to worry about. We got C-Rod on your heels like that. You don't want him to come in and start taking your carries. And like you said, with Eckler coming back, that's another dynamic. And we still got McNichols. So, it'll be interesting to see when Eckler comes back, what happens with McNichols now that C-Rod has been hooping. So that's something that I thought about last night, after the game as well. So that's something we'll see moving forward. But we got to make sure we give C-Rod his props for stepping up and his, limited opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony Lynn is doing a great job rotating these backs and, just standing in these backs' ears because, this is a committee running back room. I love Brian Robinson, and don't take what I'm about to say crazy, but he may not be the answer in the future as our, running back number 1. Because I feel like he has one cut. He don't really have that burst to kind of change direction. I kind of feel like we need a back that has a little bit more better quickness. It's like when he tries to make his cut, it's like really slowing it. He gives opportunity of linebackers to kind of make plays on him. But I definitely like him running downhill, but I can see him in a not a diminished role, but I feel like he's more of a change of pace kind of back. I don't really see him as a number one kind of breakaway. He's not a breakaway back. And I feel like we kind of need that in our mix, like a Bijan Robinson or a Saquon Barkley that can take it the distance from anywhere on the field. I feel like B-Rob doesn't get us that. Everything has to be perfect. The blocking has to be perfect. The angles of the defenders have to be perfect in order for him to score touchdowns of 30 to 40 yards. Like, yeah, he can get you 10, 12 yards in a pinch, but he's not that explosive back that we need. And we've been lacking that from Austin Eckler with him being out with these injuries and things of that nature. I thought they kind of thought that was going to be, they were going to get that from him and then get more of that power from B-Rob. But, I want a little bit more from our number one back.
Yeah, totally agree on that. And, here in the comments, people are asking, so against Dallas, what do you think we will do? Should we rest guys? Do you think maybe Jayden plays a half? Mariota should get in the mix? And just to kind of answer y'all question, I don't think we should rest anyone. We have a 6 seed to try to secure. Yeah. We're in the 6 right now. If we go into Dallas and lose, we're the 7th seed. Yes, we're in playoffs, but the 7th seed will have to play the number 2, which will pretty much be Philly. But at number 6, we could play the Rams or Seattle, depending on how that division falls.
No, I heard Seattle is completely out of it.
Okay,
they can't even get in now.
Okay, so the Rams locked it up?
Yeah, the Rams locked it up.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be.
I think it comes down to it might be Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta, and I think there's something with that. No. It's Atlanta and somebody else. That's the only thing we're waiting on. But everything else is in stone. But if we, like you said, if we lose this game, we fall to the 7th seed. Then we got to see it Philadelphia. And I'm not saying that I'm afraid of Philadelphia, but I'd rather play the Rams than play Philadelphia. With the healthy Jalen Hurts, a healthy Saquon Barkley, that offensive line that they go over there, the number 1 ranked defense in the league, I'd rather not, see them until later down the road. Just me personally.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't want no rest either. But let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep these guys in the mix. We're not playing great enough to pretty much be able to get rest. We have a lot of things we can fix. He was just talking about, I was listening to Grant Paulson on his live last night at 2 a.m. He was just talking about the recap and talking about everything. And one of the things he mentioned was Sam Cosmi. He's been getting called on quite a few penalties this year. And definitely that's one of the guys on the offensive line that we look to as one of the surer guys. And, we don't really stay on this case too much, but Cosmi does have to be better. He caused us a touchdown on that holding penalty. He pretty much grabbed the guy, yanked him down.
Yeah, but if you listen to it on the broadcast, the rules analyst came on and said that that's not a hold.
That's not a hold.
He said he pulled his arms and pulled him down. Like, he's not holding him. He said definition that's not a hold. I'm gonna find a clip and we can clip that to this, but he definitely said it shouldn't have been a hold. That's what he said.
Yeah, got you. And so we'll see. I'll follow up on that too. But if what you're saying is true, then yeah, the ref got us on that. But another comment here is just something about with the Rams. Yeah, we are saying we prefer the Rams over the Philly, but the Rams does have that elite offense. You talking Puka, you talk about Kyron, you talk about Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and they have the guru, Mr. Sean McVay. So a guy that I highly, I think highly of as far as his offensive schemes and just, what he's been able to do for the Rams and getting and winning that Super Bowl early on in his coaching career. That was definitely somebody that I wish we would have kept. So the offense is definitely pretty nice over there, and our defense and our DBs are pretty suspect. So it'll definitely be one of them games where The D-line gonna have to pressure and step up, and you know what I mean, see what we can do. But we're not gonna get too ahead and try to dial up any keys or any ways to beat them. But it's just something to keep an eye on, that, you know, they got weapons. So we gotta come in and be on our shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just need to worry about the Dallas Cowboys and securing this victory, going to 12-5, and then worry about the playoffs when the playoffs get here. We still got stuff to finish. I've seen teams try to rest players down the stretch in these last games, and then they come out flat in the playoffs, and they're not, you know, moving on, you know, all of the cylinders that they need to be moving on. And I feel like we got a lot to clean up. You know, even though we've been winning, like Dan Quinn said, there's a lot to clean up. And last night even showed that there's a lot to clean up with this team. We're not firing on all cylinders like we were earlier in the season. I feel like it's some things that we need to shore up and to get us moving into the playoffs. Now, if we're up big on the Cowboys, then yeah, take them out, rest them, let other players come in. But let's just go ahead and just take care of these people and move on, and then worry about the playoffs when the playoffs come a week from this coming Sunday.
Yeah, no question.
Just happy to be in the tournament, man. It's been a long time coming. I don't remember 11-5 season. I think I was 6 years old the last time that they were 11-5. So this feels great. Just electric in Uptown Federal last night. Just the crowd was just jumping. Michael Penix and then he comes and he throws that pick. It just was electric in there. The light show was going up, was going crazy. Pre-game out, I think we was in our seats an hour, 30, 45 minutes before the game even started. I don't never remember being in my seats that early. And it was nuts in there. Like, it was just people everywhere. The atmosphere just was, I don't remember seeing that many people in that stadium since 2012. If I'm just being honest, 2012 is the last time I remember that. But just a great atmosphere, great win last night. We just got to keep it moving and take care of the Cowboys, and then let the chips fall where they may once we get in that tournament, because it's anybody's game from there. We can't look at, oh, well, this team did that in this part of the season, or they're this, they're that, because every year we see these top teams, they falter. As soon as the playoffs comes, it's a different story, and then they get to falling. So, you know, we just got to get, we asked to get in this tournament. We in the tournament. We're ahead of schedule, because I didn't have us being 11-5, and I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, and Jayden Daniels, he's setting the record. He loves his team versus anybody. So he's very confident in his abilities and what they can do and attribute for the rest of the team and the guys around him. So with a quarterback with that much confidence and pretty much that much ability, you know what I mean, it does give us a chance. Anytime you got 5 on your side, you have a chance.
You have a chance.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else? Any other key points or anything you want to bring up before we head out?
No. Beat Dallas. It's Dallas week. We can finally say it. Let's beat Dallas. All that Dallas shit. It's finally time.
Yeah.
Now get back a motherfucker, though.
Yeah, buddy. And I don't want to hear no excuses about who ain't playing and all that or that. We don't care. We just need this dub.
Yeah.
For sure. But make sure you guys definitely like, share, subscribe, hit the like button, show us some love. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely head on over to YouTube to subscribe. Follow us at Reedie Zee on all platforms. You know, shout out to our sponsors. We have a new sponsor, the Pie Guy. Had the sweet potato pie for Christmas. I ordered a pie and I had 6 minis. Fire. Tell them Z sent you. Tell them Reedie and Z sent you. Actually, he might throw you a discount. But on on Instagram, it's at the Pie Guy, ThePiegye. So shout out to Wes, show him some love. And also great clothing line at GR8 Clothing Line. Our proud sponsors. And yeah, just tap in with us. Stay locked in. And what you was about to say?
And I just want to give a shout out to Big Ray and Saray's Catering for turning it up yesterday, man. Reedie said, man, listen, we're not going to tailgate. The rain was looking crazy, so we wanted to do something. So I hit Z. I said, man, Saray's Catering needs to come through, man, for us. She was pissed at me because I was talking my shit when we beat our Eagles. But she definitely came through yesterday. That fried chicken was on a thou wow. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all looking for any type of soul food, any type of seafood, anything, she can get it done. And Saray's Catering can take care of you. So from Reedie and my stomach, I want to say thank you, Saray's Catering.
Go ahead. Yes. But yeah, until next time, Reedie and Z over and out.